Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Vintage Finds. I'm going to show you all of the accessory type related items right now that have come across over this last, I don't know how many months now, that were either antique store, thrift store, or gifted to me. So I'm going to share those with you right now. So some of the stuff is not real exciting, but kind of cool and I like it. Found this cute little vintage, probably early 1960s little skinny tie with a little emblem on it. Isn't that neat? So I have that little ditty. And I have hats, and more hats. It just happened to be, and I'm always talking about, I don't need any more hats. I don't, but you find these pristine hats, and I've done that where I've bought hats that go with absolutely nothing that I own, and all of a sudden I'll find some vintage dress that goes perfect with if I would have got that hat. I think the most I've ever spent on a hat maybe is like $25, and that was a beautiful velvet beaded hat. Otherwise, my hats are in the range of anywhere from $5 to like $12 range. I don't spend too much, and if they're not in very good shape, I'll take them and I'll fix them up, and they're almost as good as new, but well, not good as new, but wearable. So this first little ditty I got was at Al's Antique Mall, and it's mink, and I will not wear it, but my cousin Christy has, I think, 4 or 5 real fur coats, and she has a mink coat, and I think this would go beautiful with, and it's in pristine shape. Look at that. It looks like somebody must have got it for a gift, put it away. And these are one of the purchases I got from Al's Antique Mall, so everything was 50% off. So a lovely deal on that. But look at it, it's just beautiful, and I just hate to have it just like get thrown out, because if he didn't sell his stuff, it's going to get sold in great big huge lots, and then what will happen to it? So I got this lovely little hat that will get passed on to my cousin Christy, and this hat I have a dress that is a Lindy Bop, which is a reproduction dress, but it's the same hue as a blue that this hat will just look awesome with. Little velvet, all the netting is all in shape. It was 50% off of $16.99, so how could you beat that? But it's just beautiful. It's not broke down. It still has the original tags in it. So another little hat, and I got a lot of hats. Sorry. This, and I have no idea where I'd wear this or what I'd wear this with, but I thought, you know, for $5, and look at what great shape it's in. It looks like it was stored so well at Al's. It was just out on a shelf laying there. But what is nice about this hat is some hats are so small, but this one moves, so it will fit anybody. I just have to find the right bubblegum pink dress to wear with this. I just love that. That's very springy. Those were nice because it's winter fall hats. And this is just a little sit on the back of your headpiece. It goes back like that, and it did have netting on it also, but that was all tattered and torn and not in very good shape. So I just took it off, and I may replace the netting or may just leave it as is and wear it as is. Another Al's lovely 50% off find. So for $2.50, how would you not get it? So that's the end of my Al hats. And then this is a hat that was gifted to me from the boys' father, their mother, and their grandparents had passed away, and they're closing down the estate, and their dad's moving into the estate home. So he gave this to Seth to give to me, because he said, none of my sisters will wear it, pass it on to me. I was so lucky. It is a beautiful, and I'm sure this was Gertrude Lofgren's Sunday hat or going out hat back in the day. Still has the original brooch that came on it. It was in a box from Donaldson's. I don't know if it was a Donaldson's hat or not. There's no tags on the inside. But beautiful hat. Velvet with that rhinestone. Like I said, this was probably either her Sunday or her going out fancy hat. And it's beautiful. She kept it in tissue in a box. So when I wear this, I'll just say, hey boys, you know, this was your Grandma Gert's hat, just as a little remembrance. And that's what I like. I have a couple hats that were from neighbor ladies that have her name on the inside, which I'll leave, because then it reminds me of, because I remember her. It will be a little remembrance of the neighbor whose hat that came from. So I like that. I like to be able to attach a little memory. Of course, you know, I do like that. So that was my last of my hats. They're either from Al's or gifted. And some other little vintage finds that I got, like at Salvation Army, that didn't cost too terribly much. And I had gotten these, and I can't remember where when I got it, but it's a set of vintage napkins. And I'm sure I just got it for a couple dollars. I do not know. I didn't have the tag on it. This one was from Al's, and these were a set of 3 doilies, which are just beautiful handmade or hand embroidered that I got for $4. Salvation Army, I got 2 sets of hand crocheted, and it's like that really fine crochet. Pot holder sets. I got 2 of them, and they were only $1.50 for each of them. So I got 2 sets, and these will be, all of those and all of this stuff will be for door prizes for the Vintage Camper Rally next year. It will be these, plus, you know, they'll get some other stuff along in the little gift bag. And then here's some more really neat Al's finds, and I didn't open these. Whoever they get for door prizes will have to open up and launder themselves. I'm not going to do that. But I got 3 beautiful sets of ladies' handkerchiefs from there. So I snarfed those up. Like I said, when he had 50% off, I was very selective though and only bought stuff that I knew I was going to give away like next June, or that I could specifically use. No more like, I'm going to get that just in case. No. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? Little poodle handkerchief. I love that. I'm going to keep that for myself. And what's so cool about it is it has little rhinestones on it somewhere if I could find them. Maybe this isn't the one with rhinestones. Nope. This is the one that's just embroidered. I thought she had them. That's still very cute. I'll keep that handkerchief. And this handkerchief, I wish I could find the little story, and I do have it, and I do have it somewhere. This was a silk handkerchief. It's not in very good shape, but it's monogrammed with an M. It's from 1905, and it has the original, and I stuck it somewhere safe. Lord knows where I put it. But it has a little card that was given with the gift to somebody by the name of Mary. It was Mary, so that's pretty neat. And it has the city, and like I said, I wish I would have it right now to show you, but it's from like 1905. That was so neat, but I feel bad whoever was selling this wrote on it with lead, and I can't get it out. Maybe it's silk, so it's very delicate. But I had the little handwritten note from 1905 that this came with, so that's pretty neat. I know, but it was Mary. Got a couple really cute silk handkerchiefs that were gifted to us by some vintage camper people that gave us a nice little gift. So those are beautiful. They're just silk, ballerina, and then some different little colors of hues of fall, which I adore. And then I think that I'm getting close to the end of Al's stuff. I don't know. This next purse I got it was a garage sale. It was a garage sale, but the garage sale lady was a antique store owner, and she was selling some stuff at this garage sale. So I think I did spend like 20 bucks on this, but it was so neat. And you know, vintage purses, look how big that is. It's huge. Vintage purses have no room in them. They are no room, and they don't stretch. This one has tons of room, stretches. Came with their original little case. It's not a coin case. It has a little mirror in it. So that, and it's hard-sided in there to protect the mirror. So I spent $20 on that, and that was last summer at a garage sale. I splurged. I got it. I thought, what a nice big handbag. Oh, I snarfed it up. And that was one garage sale find. This was another garage sale find that was $20. So, you know, I will spend a little bit. I think it was marked $25, and I got it for $20. And this was a vintage purse that was the seller's mother's, and I love it too because it has lots of room in it. I got that hard plastic bottom, drawstring, all beaded. Isn't that cute? Lots of room. That's why I got it. So that was at a garage sale. And then this was one, it was at Al's. So this was one of my 50% off deals. So I got this for $10. But it's a drawstring purse also. And I like this because it has so many different colors in it. It's not only pastels and creams, but it has red in it and some rhinestones. It's kind of a red raspberry, so you can wear this with lots of different colored outfits and be okay. And I like it because you can put the drawstring on your wrist and it's comfortable. It's not like a hard, rigid. A lot of the purses are hard, rigid, and they're not fun to carry. Where this one you can just have on there and do what you want to do. You don't have to carry it by the handle with your hand. You can put this on your wrist. And that's why I got this black one too, because the same thing. So I couldn't pass those up. Like I said, cream one was $10 from Al, and this one was $20 or $25 from a garage sale. It was a fella's mother's. I wasn't gonna talk them down too much because, you know, those are they're their treasures too. And I told them, you know, I'm a vintage enthusiast, and they said it would get used and loved, and not, you know, I'm not reselling it, or it's not gonna get given to a child for a toy or something. You know that I just love them. Look at, I know. It's going to get used and loved and cared for and appreciated for what it was. So the fella selling it was so happy to hear that, and I gave him my card and just said, so it's going to be, like I said, well cared for and loved. So those are all my little accessory things, except for one last thing. I have everything here in front of me, and what did I forget? They're right here. I had them on the floor behind me because I ran out of room. So, you know, and when you're wearing your little vintage, I don't wear heels very much, but you have like little slippy on shoes a lot of the times. So if it's like rainy or whatever, winter I have my fuzzy vintage warm boots that I wear, but when it's kind of interim where it's not like really boot weather, but it might be kind of spring or fall where it's damp outside and you got these little slippy shoes on that don't cover anything, it's nice to have like a little rain boot. And I found some. I lucked out big time. These were at Al's also, 50% off. So I have this set, and they're my size. What the heck? I got this pair for $5. And they're little rain, so you can wear these over your shoes. And they're kind of grippy on the bottom. So I got those for $5. I know. So those are cute. And then this pair I have been eyeing at Al's for years, because my grandma Bean had the exact same pair, but he had 20 on them. I'm not going to spend $20 on those for the few times that I wear them, because my grandma Bean had the exact same pair, right? So when Al had his going out of business sale and everything was 50% off, I beelined right over to the box on the floor back in the corner where I knew these were, and they were there. So I got them for $10. Oh, and my grandma Bean had, they just remind me of my grandma Bean. She just wore these all the time. You would never get your shoes damp, you know, where we do now. We run out and get them damp or wet all the time. But she always protected her shoes, because we buy shoes right and left, and we have 20, 30 pairs of shoes, some of us. Where they had, you know, a couple work shoes, they had their everyday shoes, maybe 2 pair. They maybe had 5 pairs of shoes. So they took care of the shoes that they had. So she always had her little rain boots on, any chance that it wouldn't be nice outside or if it was a little damp or wet. So anyway, here they are. These are my Grandma Bean boots. They fit me. They're size 9, and they're a big size 9. So I can, because, you know, vintage sizes can run different. But these boots were probably from the 60s or 70s. And that's probably why I remember them so well, because my Grandma Bean, you know, when I was born. So these are ones she had in the 70s and wore all the time. Lovely condition. A little fur. The zippers were great. I don't think they were ever, I think they were bought, put somewhere. The insides are great shape. Lucky. The only thing is there is red paint splattered. Probably like 6 or 7 big splatters all over it. So I came home and took some, very carefully, took some fingernail polish remover and a little cotton swab and just dabbed it off and got it off. You can see it might be not as shiny where that paint was, but it was very gentle and got it off. So this was, I mean, I waited, I'm not kidding, I waited for years for these boots. And I'm so happy that I got them. And I will use them and I will wear them. So thanks for coming over and looking at all my vintage accessory finds. I'm so glad that I did it into little segments. Otherwise it would be so long and you guys would be so bored that if I look at one more vintage thing, right? But this way it's like little small clips of things. So thanks for coming over. Thanks for sharing in all my vintage accessory hats, purses, and whatnot. Until we do a little vintage find again, everybody take care. Bye.